One alphabet was born in a small lakeside city. 1,000 years later, it reached the heart of Asia. This is the journey of Cyrillic. Before the 9th century, millions of Slavs spoke their language, but they could not write it. Power, religion, and administration all belonged to the worlds of Greek and Latin. For the common people, for the everyday person, knowledge existed only through sound, not through symbols. Their stories, their histories, their prayers all were passed down from one generation to the next, carried only by memory. An alphabet wasn't just missing. In many ways, it was forbidden. The idea of writing in a local, Slavic tongue was seen as a challenge to the established order. The great empires and religious authorities of the time believed that only certain languages were worthy of being written, worthy of carrying sacred texts. So for millions, their own language remained invisible, unspoken in the halls of power, and unwritten in the pages of history. This silence, this world without letters for the Slavic peoples, set the stage for one of the most significant cultural revolutions in European history. In the 9th century, two brothers from the city of Thessaloniki were sent on a dangerous and revolutionary mission. Their names were Cyril and Methodius. They were scholars, diplomats, and deeply religious men, chosen by the Byzantine emperor for a task that seemed almost impossible. Their mission was to bring Christianity to the Slavic peoples of Great Moravia, but with a radical twist, they were to do it in a language the people could actually understand. This was a profound departure from the norm, which insisted on using Latin or Greek for all religious matters. To succeed, Cyril knew he couldn't just translate words. He had to give the Slavic language a physical form. And so, he created the very first Slavic alphabet. It wasn't Cyrillic, not yet. It was a complex and beautiful script known as Glagolitic. Each letter was uniquely designed to capture the specific sounds of the Slavic tongue. This invention was more than just a set of symbols. It was an act of empowerment, giving a voice to the voiceless and laying the foundation for a new literary tradition. After the deaths of Cyril and Methodius, their groundbreaking work faced immense opposition. Their students were persecuted, arrested, and eventually expelled from Great Moravia. It seemed as though their mission had failed, that the dream of a Slavic literary culture would die with them. But ideas are resilient. The expelled students, carrying their precious books and knowledge, traveled south. They found refuge in the medieval Macedonian state, a place that would soon become the new heart of their mission. In the bustling cultural centers of the Balkans, particularly around Ohrid, a new script began to emerge. It was simpler, clearer, and more practical than the intricate Glagolitic. This new alphabet drew heavy inspiration from the familiar, elegant forms of the Greek uncial script, but adapted them to fit the unique sounds of the Slavic language. In honor of their master, the students named this new alphabet Cyrillic. It was a tribute, a continuation, and a simplification, designed for wider and faster adoption. The transformation from Glagolitic to Cyrillic wasn't a rejection of the past, but an evolution, one that would ensure the survival and spread of the brothers' legacy for centuries to come. Near the serene, ancient shores of Lake Ohrid, a powerful center of learning was born. This wasn't just a place of refuge. It became a vibrant intellectual and spiritual hub, largely thanks to two of Cyril and Methodius's most prominent students, Clement and Nome. They established what is often called the Ohrid Literary School. Here, in the monasteries that dotted the landscape, a monumental task was underway. Scribes worked tirelessly, copying religious texts from Glagolitic into the new, more accessible Cyrillic script. But it was more than just a scriptorium. It was a university of its time. Thousands of students were trained, priests were educated, and a new generation of teachers was prepared to carry the Slavic script and liturgy far and wide. Ohrid was not a capital of armies or conquests. It was a capital of letters. The wealth of this city was measured in manuscripts, not gold. It was from this cradle of Slavic literacy, nestled by the tranquil waters of the lake, that Cyrillic began its long and incredible journey, destined to shape the cultural and spiritual identity of millions. From Ohrid, the Cyrillic alphabet spread, but not in the way empires usually expand. It didn't travel on the tips of swords or through violent conquest. Instead, it spread peacefully, carried by priests, scholars, and teachers. It moved through the establishment of schools, the building of churches, and the quiet, diligent copying of manuscripts. As Cyrillic journeyed across the Slavic world, from the Balkans into the lands of the Serbs, and further into the vast territories of the Kievan Rus, it adapted and evolved. Each region, with its own unique dialect and phonetic nuances, tailored the alphabet to fit its language. New letters were invented to represent specific local sounds, while others that were no longer needed fell into disuse. For example, letters representing nasal vowels, crucial in Old Church Slavonic, eventually disappeared in languages that lost those sounds. Yet, despite these regional variations, the core foundation of the script remained the same. This shared alphabet created a vast, interconnected cultural space AI, Slavia Orthodoxa, uniting diverse peoples through a common written word and a shared faith. As the centuries passed, Cyrillic continued its eastward march, embedding itself into the very fabric of new nations and rising powers. It moved from being the script of missionaries and scholars to become the official script of powerful kingdoms, principalities, and later, vast empires. In the Balkans and across Eastern Europe, it was the language of law, literature, and governance, shaping culture and defining religious identity for millions. When it reached the lands of the Rus, it laid the groundwork for the development of the Russian, Ukrainian, and Belarusian languages. For the nascent Russian state, and later the Russian Empire, Cyrillic became more than just a writing system. It was a pillar of national and spiritual identity, a symbol of its unique path, distinct from the Latin West. The alphabet that began as a tool for religious conversion had become a cornerstone of civilization, a carrier of epics, chronicles, and imperial decrees. But even as it solidified its place in the heart of Eastern Europe, its journey was far from over. The script was destined to travel even further, beyond the traditional Slavic world. In the 20th century, in a move that bridges continents and eras, the Cyrillic alphabet reached one of its most distant and surprising destinations, Mongolia. In 1941, as part of a state-sponsored modernization and literacy campaign, Mongolia officially adopted a version of the Cyrillic script to write its national language. This decision replaced the traditional, vertically written Mongolian script that had been used for centuries. The Cyrillic alphabet was adapted with the addition of a couple of extra letters to accurately represent the unique sounds of the Mongolian language. Suddenly, an alphabet born in medieval Macedonia, designed for a Slavic tongue, became the official writing system for a Central Asian nation of nomadic heritage. A child in Ulaanbaatar learned to read and write, using letters that were direct, descendants of those taught by Clement of Ohrid over 1,000 years earlier. Few alphabets in human history have ever traveled so far, crossing such vast cultural, linguistic, and geographical divides. It stands as a powerful testament to the script's remarkable adaptability and its extraordinary thousand-year journey. From its humble beginnings on the shores of Lake Ohrid to the vast steppes of Mongolia, Cyrillic is more than just an alphabet. It is a living bridge between cultures, connecting the Balkans to Central Asia, the medieval world to the modern era. It is a witness to history, having recorded the prayers of saints, the decrees of czars, and the poems of revolutionaries. Every letter tells a story of migration, adaptation, and survival. It is a journey written not in ink on a map, but in the very letters that have given a written voice to hundreds of millions of people across a dozen time zones. The story of Cyrillic reminds us that ideas, when they are powerful enough, can transcend borders, empires, and even time itself. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more stories from the past that shaped our present.